Okay, hello everybody, welcome to TìandTarot, or welcome back to TìandTarot if you've been here before. So today's reading is a November predictions reading, so if there's anything significant that's going to happen to you in November, anything you need to know, any sort of big changes or transformations, or just little bits of information you need to know ahead of November, then it should come out in this reading today. And I want to preface this reading by saying it welcomes everybody, both people who believe in tarot and who don't, but just enjoy it for a bit of fun. This reading is open to absolutely everybody. If I say things like spirit, that's for those of you who believe in spirit, but for those of you who don't, I'm just referring to the cards. So we have 4 piles for you to choose from today in our pick a pile reading. And if you don't know how pick a pile readings work, I will explain it to you now. You essentially want to choose the pile that you feel most intuitively drawn to, either based on the energy of the pile, the number of the pile, the crystal or object on top, or even based on the numbers and zodiac signs in the timestamps below in the description box. So we have pile 1, 2, 3 and 4, and I'll introduce our crystals now. So for pile 1 we have a Fluorite half moon Druzy, for pile 2 we have a Selenite tower. For pile 3 we have a Carnelian half moon Druzy. And for pile 4 we have some pink amethyst. Once you have picked your pile, there will be a timestamp in the description box below for you to find your reading more easily, and I will meet you there. Bye! Okay, hello my pile ones, welcome to your reading. So this is everything significant that you need to know about November. So the way this reading is going to work is we'll go through the tarot cards, we'll get some oracle cards for you as well. We'll also do a charm reading as well, and then you will also have the opportunity at the end of the reading to ask any 3 yes or no questions pertaining to this reading and your pile, strictly for the month of November as well. Okay, I just quickly added some crystals because I thought they was cute. Alright, so first of all, we're going to be looking at significant changes. So I'm going to get some oracle cards for you. Oh, okay, we have share a small act of kindness. And this is the other side. Okay, and then we also have multiple numbers with the number 32. Okay. I think your luck is changing, because with the multiple numbers there with the dice, it's kind of like you know, like if you're gambling, you roll the dice, like you're taking a risk, you're putting yourself out there, and like a lot of times it's like, you know, your winning streak is not great, or maybe it's like, yeah, it's okay, but then there are some times where you roll it and it's like you're just getting like doubles again and again and again. And it's going really well for you. I feel like some sort of the significant change coming in for you in November is that your luck increases. Lots of opportunities come your way. The things you apply yourself to actually work out, and people are being really receptive to you. There's a lot of kindness, generosity, favours being cashed in. That's what I'm seeing. Let's see what your tarot cards are for this section. So you have the 9 of Wands in reverse. You have the Page of Swords in reverse. And you have the Knight of Swords in reverse. I definitely think your luck is changing for November, because with the 9 of Wands in reverse like that, usually this is a, you know, keep going, keep persevering, you're doing great, sweetie kind of card. but it's in reverse, which makes me feel like there's no need to reassure you or tell you you're doing great and everything will work out, because it's working out, especially with the Page of Swords and the Knight of Swords. If we take those into consideration, you're bringing your dreams into reality. There's no more, idolizing, keeping things in your head. You're actually putting them out into the world, writing them down, writing your ideas down, and then you're using your logic to pursue them. You're using your head over your heart. Instead of saying, I really wish this would happen, and clinging to it, you're making it happen. You're like, okay, if I want that to happen, I'm going to go do it. And this kind of perseverance and this decision to go after your dreams, it's not that all of a sudden people are just randomly being nicer to you and opportunities just seem to come your way. Because you're applying yourself, you're making yourself available for kindness. You're making yourself available for people doing you favors, and you're making yourself available for your dreams coming true because you're actively pursuing them. It's like, for example, like if it's raining outside and you really want to know what it feels like to stand in the rain, but you're sitting inside watching the rain, wishing you could be out there. It's like you finally open the door, step outside and enjoy that. It's because you're putting yourself out there that this luck is changing. It's because, as well, a lot of the times, we think our goals are really unreachable. We think they're too big because they mean a lot to you. When realistically, they're not too big. They're not out of the ordinary. They're really normal dreams that can come true, and they are possible to make happen. But a lot of the times we think, because we value them so much, that it's too big of a feat, it's too scary to pursue. And so you stay inside, you don't go after it, you don't pursue it. And all you're doing is delaying your progress, you're delaying your success. All you're doing is making yourself sadder because you're not going after what it is you truly want. You're not putting yourself out there. And it's almost like in November, you're turning the tables there. You're like, no, I've had enough of that. I'm not going to sit around and be sad and wait for this great thing to happen, or wait for my dreams to come true, or wish they came true and then get to a place where I'm like, hey, I never made that happen, Instead, you're applying yourself. But a lot of the time, I can appreciate that the pressure to get your dream done can feel so big because it's so valuable to you that you almost never want to try. Because it feels scary and it feels heavy and like it is going to be really hard and impossible, and you're just setting yourself up for failure, even though that's not true. So I think you're tackling and fighting those kind of mental constraints, those kind of doubts that you have, the disbelief that you can do it or that this is something you can achieve. You're battling that and, working your way through those feelings so that you can apply yourself with ease, with less stress, with comfortability, that at least you're trying and you'll see where it takes you. Although I definitely feel a success energy from your pile anyway. Okay, so let's check out the transformations that are coming your way. Ooh, we have the Dark Moon in reverse. I wonder if you'll get the Dark Moon in your charm reading, but we'll see. Oh, in reverse, we also have fire. Let me put it upright so I can read it. So we have fire, passion, desire, energy. Harness your energy to make big things happen. I love this. I think your transformation is tying back into your significant change this month, because it's almost like the change is happening within you and then it's transforming you as a person. Okay, so let's see your cards. We have the Fool in reverse. We have the Ten of Wands. I think your pile got 4 of these cards, but I will check. Then we have the Eight of Swords. Oh no, you only got 3. Then we have the Eight of Swords in reverse. Okay, what I'm seeing for you, pile 1, is that actually a transformation of yours is being blocked right now. There's something preventing it from moving forward, and that something is your inability to say no, to set boundaries, and you constantly putting more and more and more on your plate. So there is a transformation waiting for you to happen, but I think you're so kind of burnt out / desensitized to everything / maybe even feeling out of connection or out of touch with yourself and who you are, that you're struggling to respond to the signs and the signals within you saying, we need a change. That's like, the fire within you that's screaming and saying, this needs to be different. We need to pursue something different. We need to go after what we want and stop putting others before ourselves, or else we'll burn out. That part of you is being ignored by your desire to please others, to keep doing their biddings for them. You've almost fallen out of sync with who you are because you're busy wearing a mask, performing a role, people pleasing. The need for the transformation comes from there. The second you stop doing those things, the second you stop people pleasing, the second you start saying no, setting boundaries, putting yourself first, that's your transformation. So when you do that, that will open this fire, that will allow your passions and your creativity and your journey to begin. But at the minute, with those sort of in place, it's hard for that to come through. This could be something you're tackling in November. It could be something you're turning around, because we are seeing here with the Eight of Swords, it's in reverse. So it could be like you're finally seeing things clearly now. You've sort of taken off the blindfold, you've realised the predicament you're in, and you know exactly how to get out of it. So it could be that you're actually changing that this month. But at the current minute of this reading, there's a blockage to your transformation, to starting this new journey, to following your passions, to creating things, and letting that energy out. There's that blockage there, but I think you are reversing it. Potentially because of this reading as well. What I've noticed as well is that you have 2 8s in there, which represents the strength card. So you've got the 8 here and the 8 here. So I think this is telling you, one, this transformation isn't easy, so definitely be gentle to yourself. This takes strength. This takes a lot of energy to make this big change. It's not like, oh God, why couldn't I do that? Like, why am I struggling so much? Don't be hard on yourself. When you do start setting boundaries, it can feel really horrendous. You can feel very shaky and nervous. Roll with it. Allow yourself to feel that. Allow yourself to go into another room and scream in a pillow if that's what you need to do. But eventually it gets easier. But be gentle to yourself and allow yourself to feel as you start this journey. Secondly, it's also saying there's a time to let this inner beast out. And I think that time is now. That inner beast is your fire, your passion, your determination, your drive, you putting yourself first. And the thing is, when you ignore it, when you sort of suffocate that flame and kind of push down the natural anger you feel at having your boundaries crossed and being pushed around, you're actually hurting yourself. You're shutting down your own systems, your own internal systems for others. But you're the only one who has to walk in your shoes and live your life. It's not other people. So why are you putting out your flame for them? You have to allow your flame to grow. You have to nurture it. And that means honouring both sides of yourself. This side that can be more giving and generous and gentle. And this other side that also needs to prioritise, yourself. That also needs to put yourself first and stand up for yourself and get fiery, So that's also something I'm seeing. So, what's something you really need to know about November? Both in reverse, we have change and we have impatience. That's so interesting. It's almost like, we'll interpret it with the tarot cards, because when I look at the tarot cards it might change my interpretation. But at the minute, it's almost like you're not mad enough. You're not active enough. Like, you're not bothered enough by the way people treat you, the way they're pulling on you. And it's like all your angels and spirit guides are trying to help you. And they're like, girl, please get up. They're like, come on, move, stop putting yourself first. It's almost like a change is needed, but there's something stopping you. It's almost like you're caught in this toxic cycle or system that continues to eat you up, chew you out, spit you out. and each time you're starting again. It's like you need to break away from this toxic system or cycle that just grinds you. You're just like a cog in the machine. You need to free yourself from it and start anew. That's almost what's coming in here. So that's something you might need to know. Yeah, we've got Dawn. So you definitely need to take action this month so that this cog, this machine, this system doesn't swallow you up. We have the Page of Spring. I think you also need to fight for what you believe in, because it's now or never, and if you don't do it now, there is a high possibility that things could get so much worse, especially like looking at the state of the world and things like that. If there's something you believe in, advocate for it, especially with the witch there. The witch is a wise woman, someone with knowledge, someone who is a threat to the system, someone who has the power to break the system and change it. So putting yourself out there, being active with what you believe in, is really key to your success and your happiness. It's definitely calling to you, because I think when you are kind of out of sync with yourself, with the world around you, with the system, with the people that are around you, because it can be quite disheartening to see so many hateful people sort of around and in the social media and stuff like that, and even our world leaders just so hateful. It can be really hard to watch that, and with the Page of Spring, what we're seeing is that that's causing you to disassociate, to pull away, to kind of shut down or be disinterested or be bored and not fulfilled in this lifetime. But with the Dawn, this is essentially saying every day is a new day for you to turn it around. Yeah, was a good time to plant the seed for a tree 10 years ago. Yeah, it was. But a better time is right now. You know, so that you have that tree in 10 years, that you've nurtured that thing that was important to you now, so that you can have it later, so that it has more power and impact later. And you know exactly how to do that with the witch. You can manifest this reality for you. You can manifest a world where you don't have these things, where this system isn't the system that it is, where the system that we do have functions so much better, healthier, is different, and doesn't work by torturing people or chewing people up and spitting them out and losing people or discarding people like they're not important. You have the power to manifest a reality where the world we're in actually appreciates and puts humans before others. So that was something you really needed to hear this month. That was something you really needed to know. Okay, and something new about this month, or new that's happening this month. Oh, you have yellow jasper. I love when we get jasper cards, because I know that's my baby boy giving us some messages today. By the way, that's my old cat. My childhood pet cat. For those of you who don't know. But I've mentioned him before, so you know. Some of you will know. So yellow jasper. Number 6, detoxify, protection. Connection to Mother Earth. Chakras are solar plexus. Zodiacs are Leo, Gemini, Capricorn. And we have, I'm sustained and supported during times of stress. I continue to feel a sense of tranquility and wholeness. That's so amazing. Maybe this is something you've never experienced before. Maybe you've never experienced a stress-free kind of life where you're feeling tranquil and whole. Where you feel protected and where you feel really attuned with nature. So maybe this is the new thing that's coming in for you. Yes, so we have the Seed of Cups. And the Four of Wands with this butterfly. Okay, hello transformation. Also, butterflies are to do with a lot of the times the afterlife as well. They're like a symbol of like a spiritual message from like a loved one. So that's something I'm going to think about here. And we've got the Tower. Big catalytic change. Wow. This is a big month for you. This is a massively powerful month. This is crazy. There's a massive change to who you are. I think you're changing, first of all, the way you interact with the world. You're changing your approach because you want to see a different world around you. You're also leading with love. Definitely leading with love. However, on top of that, if there is a lot of hate, if there is a lot of animosity in the world, you are so unbothered because you're connecting with your true purpose, your true connection to the earth. So, for example, because whatever this cause is that's behind this fire in you, because you now start prioritizing that and investing your efforts in that. So, for example, let's say environmental friendliness is really important to you. Maybe you join the Green Party and you start actually doing things actively for the environment because that fulfills you and makes you whole and sustains you. All the negativity, it's almost like it floats away. Yeah, it's there. Yeah, you fight it. And yes, it doesn't sit right with you. But you don't let it become something internalized within you that makes you shut down. You're very zen. And you're nurturing that fire within you. And that's leading to success. Despite the odds. Despite anything that's happening around you. With the connection to Earth, I feel like I want to bring something in that I learned recently, because you've had a lot of like connect with the Mother Earth kind of energies in your cards, and you have it in this card as well, and about breaking away from this system and stuff. But basically I heard that, of course, we in a patriarchal society run and operate on a 24-hour cycle. So we're ruled by the sun. The way the sun moves, we go to sleep when the sun sets. We wake up when the sun rises. We have 3 meals a day and we exercise daily. And we have a certain set of hours to sleep a day. That kind of thing. That is actually a masculine hormone cycle, because men have a 24-hour hormone cycle. Women have a monthly hormone cycle. So not only are we subscribing to this 24-hour monthly cycle that doesn't fit us because we live in a patriarchal world, but we're also separately running on our monthly cycle with the moon, which is our monthly hormone cycle. So of course we have menstruation, the follicular phase, we have ovulation, and then we have the luteal phase. So basically there's this idea that in order to feel more peaceful and more harmonious with the world and more whole, you should try cycle syncing like literally everything. So for example, cycle syncing your exercise regime. So that can mean taking it more slow during your menstrual cycle, being more gentle with yourself because your energy is low, but then picking that back up during the follicular phase and ovulation as well, and then during the luteal phase, again, taking it easy for the majority of the month, gentle walks, that kind of thing. Instead of subscribing to this idea of like, do like 3 hours in the gym daily, because that doesn't work for you, And again, it's the same thing. You need certain vitamins and things during certain parts of your phases of your cycle. So it's about trying to eat foods and get those vitamins in at the right time so that you can start to feel whole again, and also following a sleep pattern that works with it. So for example, pre and on your period, so a little bit of the luteal phase, the menstrual phase, and a little bit after during the follicular phase. What you kind of need is to get to bed like 2 hours earlier because it's going to be harder for you to fall asleep, and you need a lot longer. You need about 10 hours of sleep as well. Don't quote me on this, I ain't no doctor, okay? So if you want to go explore that, please go and research that yourself. It's just something I looked up, and apparently it's a really good way to feel more connected and whole. And that's what we were getting here, especially with the Mother Earth connections. So that's something new that might be happening for you this month, is maybe learning how to sync yourself with nature, sync yourself with earth, or find your natural rhythm that flows better with you than what we've been told should just work for us, which is just the default, which is based off of the way men operate, not women. So that's something to consider as well. Guys, I've literally been talking away and the camera wasn't on. Anyway, I already pulled all of your symbols. So this is a charm pulling part of your reading. So what I was saying was that with the spirituality and trusting your intuition there with the mushroom, something interesting about mushrooms is that they're really good at communicating. So not, of course, talking, like they can't speak, they don't have mouths, but they do have a communication system with each other as well as with trees. Like, they're really good at that. They can heal others, they've got great abilities. And I think here what that's saying is that your spirit guides are going to be speaking directly to your intuition this month. Your spirit guides are coming in strongly. As I said, with all those angels that were around you in that oracle card, the impatience oracle card, that are trying to help you, trying to get you up, trying to get you to open your eyes and wake up to what it is you want, they're going to be screaming at your intuition this month. And the thing is, your intuition is your intelligence, so trust it and listen to it. That gut feeling is coming from an intelligent place, so allow that communication to come in and respond to it. With the fire element being in the release and let go, mixed in with the future, there are two options for you. A future where you allow that fire, which is your passion, creativity, your drive, to take the reins, and one where you don't. You know, what future would you prefer? One where you pursued the things you wanted, or one where you didn't? So this is saying release and let go of the thing that is holding you back. Let go of that disinterest, that boredom, that disassociation, and move forward with what you want. We also have the full moon, with the self-support, physical and emotional. And what we were seeing in your reading is that these are all areas that you're neglecting. You're neglecting self-support, you're neglecting physical help, emotional support, by putting yourself last in this world. And so what we're seeing is that in order to transform and change, you need a massive clearing out of that self-neglect. You need to start putting yourself first, especially if you want to transform. And that's what we're seeing there with the butterfly. And the butterfly is on support, focus and emotion. So what your spirit guides are really going to be helping you with this month is, of course, supporting you, but helping you to focus on the goal that you want to achieve. You have a desire within you. You have a need within you, something that's telling you this is what you want, a drive, a purpose, that you're neglecting. By listening to your spirit guides and letting them in, letting them talk to you through your intuition, trusting the feelings you have, trust that if you're feeling like you want a certain thing, that's right for you to go after it. So when you start listening to that, you'll find so much more emotional balance, emotional fulfillment and wholeness. You'll feel supported and focused by the universe as well. We also have it's on spirit, lessons and focus, but we have a tree. So again, we're really clearly seeing that your spirits have a message for you. They want to tell you something. I think it's an ancestor, a family member or something, because we've had a butterfly in a tree as well as mushrooms. And there's that to me is very much a family tie, because butterflies are often representative of like a past loved one. So if you see a lot of butterflies around when they're gone, usually it's a sign that they're around. Trees, you know, we have family trees, and then mushrooms are connected to trees as well. They help heal them and, you know, support them. So very strongly we're getting that there's some spiritual ancestry that is trying to come through to you as well, to provide you an important lesson, to teach you something. Yeah, because we've even got focus, family and home, and career and work with the witchy symbol here. Because with the hexagram, this is basically saying there are two opposite forces. Use them in harmony to achieve unity within yourself. So if your family and home is clashing with your career and work, if the self is clashing with the wider world, there needs to be a harmonization of these two things in order for you to feel whole, to feel fulfilled. And there is a way to do it, and you can manifest that and figure that out because you had the witch card. So what we're definitely seeing is that there needs to be some sort of unity of opposing forces. It could be that fire within you, like if we look at the strength card, the lion and then the human. It could be the fire and then the more gentleness, but there needs to be more of a balance here. And with the triple horn of Odin here in the emotional and spiritual, once again, we're so clearly seeing that there is a very high spiritual message coming through for you. Because this is wisdom, like knowledge, divine secrets. You're being granted some sort of secret from an ancestor this month. On air, we have spirit and mind. Air is about communication, guys. And we've got spirit and mind. This is an actual joke. You're so strongly getting that spirits are going to be talking to you this month. To your intuition, to your mind, to your soul. They're going to be speaking to you. Also, I do think this is a reference to the pairing and merriment of your thoughts and your actions and your purpose in life. You know, you're thinking about what it is you want to do. Because you're thinking about it, you're then applying it, writing it down, and taking action. Like with the lightning strike, this is an action. And it's crossing over in the spirit and the mind, so you're striking something with your spirit and your mind. You're taking action on something. You're embracing this new version of yourself. You're embracing the inner you that's screaming to come out. There's going to be a lot of change to the way that you interact with the world. I think your spirituality, specifically your ability to receive messages from the spirit world, whether you've had this gift before or not, it's coming in. Whether you know it or not, there's a big change there. But there's also just a massive change in your internal compass, where you're directing your energy, what you're going towards. Wow, okay, so that's something I'm seeing. So you've had such a powerful reading, Pole 1. It's crazy. I don't know how any of the other piles are going to live up to this, but anyway, we're now on to the final part of the reading, where you can ask any 3 yes or no questions about the month ahead. So go ahead and ask your first question now, and I will try my best to answer it for you. Okay, answer to question 1 comes in now. So we have definitely not, no. So that means it's definitely not a no, which means it's absolutely a yes. Okay, go ahead and ask question 2 now. We have yup. Go ahead and ask question 3 now. We have without fail. Okay, so that was your reading, Pole 1. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. Comment below and let me know, are you yay or nay on the charm readings? Is this something you want to see in other videos or something you'd rather not see? Let me know. And if you were drawn to any other piles, feel free to check those out now. If not, I hope to see you here next week on Tuesdays and Thursdays for another reading on TìandTarot. Bye. Okay, hello my pile 2s, welcome to your reading. I will explain the board in the back later, because the way this reading's going to work is firstly we'll get into all the tarot cards, get you some oracle cards, and then we'll also do a charm reading. And then we'll also have an opportunity at the end of the reading for you to ask any 3 yes or no questions about November and this reading. So to get started, let's pull you an oracle card first. And this is about a significant change that's coming in for you this month. Oh, so we have you are a beautiful and unique being. And this is the flip side. There's no one else quite like you, it says. Okay. And let's get you another oracle card. Okay, we have 16 solar plexus chakra. Okay. I think this card, yeah, it was the mind as well, and it's talking about your beauty. It has something to do with your mind. Your intelligence, your thoughts, your ideas, your opinions, something like that. Okay. So a significant change here. We've got the 8 of Cups. You're leaving something behind. We've got the Ace of Cups in reverse, and we have the Empress in reverse. Okay. I said you're leaving something in the past, and over here it says leave judgment and comparison in the past. Wow. Interesting. I think you're having like a big change in terms of the way you see yourself and the way you see the world as well. I think you're starting to let go of that judgment that we have where it's like, you know, you look at people on social media, you compare yourself, you might even look down on others for maybe not subscribing to our beauty standards, and you're starting to see that it's all bullshit, and you're like, you know what, Like, at no point do I have to listen to this shit. Like, for example, for like the past few decades, I think since the 80s or something like that, shaving, especially for women, has been like the norm or the beauty standard, and now Kim K has kind of overnight flipped that on its head, where people are saying, actually, yeah, I do think hair is beautiful. And I'm not saying there weren't loads of people who said that before and weren't saying that before Kim K, because that's not true. Loads of us were. I was, for example. But what I am saying is that one individual had the power to change everything, whereas so many individuals who had the same mindset didn't, because they're not at the top of like the beauty standard ladder. And you're starting to recognise the joke of it all, that it's only something that changes if it's profitable for certain people. If they can make money off it, then they will. It's only beautiful if money can be made in this capitalist world. And so you're realising how much of a joke it is, how much of a fallacy it is. So I feel like you're letting go of that, you're walking away from that, and you're finding what your own beauty is. You're finding your own definition of beauty. You're finding what you like about yourself. You're detaching yourself from this like group idea of what beauty should be, and you're making your own idea of it. And this is also allowing you space to appreciate the people around you, honour them, meet them where they're at, and recognise their beauty, you know, instead of looking at them and thinking like, oh, they don't have this or they don't have that, and making a quick judgment. Instead, you're like, you know what, I really like this feature about them and it's really unique, and you're appreciating people more. You can recognise beauty beyond the surface as well. You're seeing things within people that make them really special, like for example their kindness or their compassion or their generosity or their passion for a certain interest that they have. You're starting to see so much more beauty in the world beyond, you know, what we look like, how we dress, how we present ourselves. So I think that's a big change for you, is definitely that kind of socially constructed idea of beauty that is just based on profit and nothing true or substantial. Okay, so let's see what significant changes are coming in for you this month. Wow, we have the Mexican sunflower in reverse with a little butterfly on there. That's so beautiful. Okay, and your next oracle card, pile 2. We have the rainbow. That's so pretty. It's in reverse. So you have the numbers 23, 27 and 16 so far. And the rainbow says, hope, balance, magic. Be hopeful. Duality and balance create magic. That is so lovely. That is gorgeous. Okay, and let's get your tarot cards. So we have the King of Swords. Really big on mind energy right now. Mind power. 9 of Swords. Yeah, what did I say? Okay. There is big clearing out. And Judgment in reverse. Oh my gosh, pile 2. This is so crazy. That your pile, the synchronicities, it's just all coming in so strongly. Okay. And I just noticed as well there's little butterflies there with him as well. Once again, we're seeing this kind of reversal of this worry, this negativity, this pessimism for emotional intelligence, security, knowledge, emotional maturity. We're seeing a massive reversal in the way that you're seeing the world, especially when it comes to beauty as well, because I think you're recognizing beauty has nothing to do with drawing in your desires. If you want to magnetize your desires towards you, your aura does that. Your energy does that. This rainbow, this thing that's around you. There's a duality to beauty. It's not just surface deep. There's a duality. It's not just the surface. There's something beyond that. There's something within you as well. So you're recognizing that, and it's building up. This is your emotional intelligence coming through. That is the transformation happening within you, is this deep emotional intelligence, and the way you see beauty, the way you perceive it, the way you take it in. Because it shouldn't cause you any distress. You know, the fretting over beauty and where you stand in society and how you look. It should not be keeping you up at night, making you upset, making you restless, making you miserable. You should feel good. And if you're not feeling good, then that's a sign that you're out of alignment with this duality within you. And you're recognizing that you have a magnetizing power. Like, you have the ability to draw your desires in towards you without giving in to social ideas of what beauty is. You have a natural magnetism. Everyone does. Everyone can pull in their desires and draw in what they want by putting their energy out there. It's the energy that's going to draw that in. It's not the way you look. And so you're having this massive transformation where you're no longer prioritizing surface level beauty. You're focusing on the inner you, and the inner side of others. You're focusing on making yourself feel good as well, and prioritizing yourself and uplifting yourself, because that in turn will help this magnetic energy you have anyway. You're releasing judgment, you're letting go, and you're changing what beauty means to you so that you can step into that new version of it. Okay. What do you need to know about this month? Is there something significant you need to know? We have connection. We also have... Oh, we had one more card for you. The Two of Swords. Interesting. Because it didn't come out with your last reading, I'm going to take it for, like, last section of the reading. I'm going to take it as a part of this section. So we have the Goldfinch, which is essentially the Fool card, basically. We have Forget-Me-Not in reverse. And we have the Ace of Spring. Oh. You're definitely going on a journey of discovery. It has something to do with you not being in sync with something. Like, you're kind of out of sync with something, unsure, not sure where to go, you can't really see what to do. But there's a connection drawing you to something, and that's pulling you on a journey of discovery. It's something to do with your past. There's a connection from your past. It feels like a past life, like a past experience that maybe you've had in this lifetime, but it could also be another one. But there's something calling to you. It could be like a sense of deja vu. It could be a curiosity, a nagging feeling. Maybe it could have something to do with your ancestry and you want to find out more about your history, where you come from, what your family tree is like. There's some sort of calling like that where you want to unveil something. You want to unveil the truth and discover new things about this avenue that feels like it's a little bit in the dark, like you've been shut out from something and something has been quite secretive about this connection that you have to either a person, a place, some sort of dynasty, maybe even a past life. You've been shut out from the knowledge of it, but you're starting a new journey this month to figuring out what that is, to unraveling that and following that path so that you can figure out where these feelings are coming from, where this connection's coming from, so that you can discover the truth, essentially. You're being drawn into the light of the truth of something you've been shut out from. That's something you need to know. I know that sounds quite mystic and there's not much to it, but that's all the cards are giving me. It reminds me of in Ugly Betty where a psychic is hired and she's like, follow a bee to a kiss and then you'll find your dad. Or something like that, and it's really like mystic and cryptic and not very on point, like, but then it actually does unravel in that way. But that is what I'm hearing. You're gonna follow this connection to the light of the truth. Okay, and now let's get another card for you. And luck is on your side with that as well. You're joking! I got the Selenite! Oh my gosh. I can't believe this. Okay, so you got the Selenite. I'm too good. You've got the 8. You have I am at one with myself, the earth, and the universe. You have consciousness, spiritual connection, highest vibration, the crown and higher crown chakra, and Taurus as well. It's interesting, the 8 is representative of the Strength card as well. So you have the 5 of Cups. There's definitely healing from some sort of loss or sadness within your life. We have the 7 of Stones in reverse, and we have the Sun card. Success, happiness, okay. Yeah, do you see here this person? So this is, by the way, this is something new coming in for you. It's so interesting you were drawn to the Selenite and then you got the Selenite. If I were you, I would go and look up after this reading what Selenite is, what it does for you, because that will have some messages for you as well. But what we're seeing here is this person like looking up, looking for wisdom from the universe, and here we've got all of the like chakra colours coming down. So they're getting some sort of enlightenment, some sort of new knowledge or old wisdom. That could have something to do with the connection, the pull you were feeling from some sort of past life, because you're getting some sort of new information, and that new information is going to bring you a lot of happiness. Where in the past you've felt a lot of grief, a lot of turmoil, you felt in the dark or left behind or abandoned, or like you don't fit or know your place in this world, you're now getting the knowledge you need to feel connected. To feel connected to the earth, the universe, yourself, and that makes you so much happier because you finally feel like you found your place in the world. So I think this month you're finding that connection with the universe. You're finding that thing that makes you happy and makes you feel like you have community. And I also think it has something to do with nature, especially because you have the Taurus energy coming through. So I actually think it has something to do with you being outdoors more. You might need to do that in order to connect with the universe. You know, hiking, walks, that kind of thing. But that's something that's coming in as well. Let's move on to the next part of your reading. Okay, so this next part of the reading is essentially like a charm pull, charm reading. So the way it works is I'll drop some charms on the board. If they don't land up right, they're not relevant, so we will skip those. Okay. It was on physical and a little bit of emotional as well. We'll take this one away. Okay. Okay, none of those. Oh my gosh, guys, you got a rainbow. When you had the rainbow coming through so strongly before. Are there 2 here? Yes, and they're both upright. In the exact same place as well. Okay. Okay, so firstly, you've got the mushroom on myself and future. On the self and future, sorry. So there's some sort of need to heal in order for your future to be bright. Because with mushrooms, they have a great healing ability. You know, that some mushrooms are even used in like research for cancer medication as well, because it's so good at healing and doing a lot. And it's also used for like trying to find solutions to Alzheimer's and dementia and things. So there's something to do with the need to heal the self in order to have a bright future. So at the minute, for the month of November, your focus is the self. That's where your focus needs to be. And I think it's because you need to change something about your self-image, the way you look at yourself, the way you think and view the world, something about your judgment, in order to have a brighter future. You've also got the dove here with support and emotional. So with emotional support, what we're seeing is you need to be so much kinder to yourself. You need to be a lot more gentle, a lot more kind, considerate, caring, nurturing. You know, I think this desire to look the most beautiful, and if you don't, then you hate yourself, because there's so much pressure to be this like beautiful, amazing person. It can and to conform to social ideas of beauty. you can then internalize a lot of hate onto yourself. So what we're seeing here is there is a strong need for gentleness to release that. Okay, Kit is visiting and sniffing all the flowers. Sniffing all the flowers. Good girl. She's not going to step on the board because she's a good girl. And she knows it would mess everything up. So. You're so smart and considerate. Love you. It's interesting you got the rainbow on career and work, because we were talking about the rainbow sort of being this aura, this internal beauty. And so what I think you might be doing is actually moving towards maybe teaching people how to love themselves and meet themselves where they're at and honour their inner beauty. I think there might be something in that, and also that you will have a lot of success in your career and your work, especially this month. We have the sun on health and wellness and lessons. The rainbow is also a lot of good luck in your career and your work as well, especially if you've gone through a lot of bad luck. This is a lot of good luck coming in. With the sun, it's a symbol of strength. Sorry if you can hear Kit eating in the background. Actually, I'm not going to say sorry because you're welcome, alright? Anyways. There's a lot of, to turn things around, to learn this lesson and honour your inner beauty and put yourself first and your well-being first. It takes a lot of strength, especially if you're used to not doing that. It's hard. It feels out of your comfort zone. It can almost get addictive to ignore what you need, what your needs are. So it will take a lot of strength, but it's definitely something that you're able to turn around this month, is of course prioritising yourself. The solar cross, which speaks to more harmony in your life, has fallen on lessons and intuition and a little bit of spirit as well. There's going to be some sort of harmony with your spirit guides talking to your intuition to teach you a lesson this month. And it's going to be unexpected communication that's going to cause an unexpected big change in your personal life as well. This in trusting your intuition, listening to spirit, is going to cause such a big change within you. The leaf is a symbol of hope, and it's fallen on spirit, mind, embrace, and intuition. Oh, so there's lots of hope for this turnaround, just to connect your mind with what you're truly thinking, feeling. Hi, Voo-Voo. Hey-yo. Hey-yo. Don't move these ones. These are the only ones we've not seen yet. Okay? Look at her little foot next to my hand. She's so cute. I love you. I love you. You're such a pretty girl. Yep, there she goes. I knew it. Guys, Bigfoot's interrupted the reading. She's gonna destroy everything. I'm joking, Kit. You're not Bigfoot. You're Littlefoot. Jasper's Bigfoot. Because he had big feet. Guys, I'm holding down the fort, alright? Until she's off the board. But her visiting basically is just, a big sign of spiritual support, and she's basically approving of the message in your reading. She supports your reading. Okay, then we've got the rose in emotional, and I believe that's physical. Yeah, physical. As well as the witch is not in physical. You're not allowing negativity to fester in the way that you interrogate and tear apart your appearance. You're not going to allow it. That negative energy, those demons, okay, you're not going to allow them to make you hate yourself. It's not possible. And because you're not allowing that negative energy in, you're protected from it. You're going to be feeling so much more emotional joy, which is actually going to affect your physical appearance massively. If you're feeling better about yourself, honouring yourself more, liking the way you look more, it's going to shine through anyway. Like on the outside, it just will. So you're going to be feeling better about yourself anyway. We also have the hexagram on release and let go with friendships. Interesting. A unique message coming in here. But what we're seeing is that there needs to be a balance. There needs to be a unity between opposing forces. And if there's no balance, there's no peace, there's no unity, it's not going to work. So when it comes to friendships, make sure that there's equal amounts of compromise and no compromise. Okay, because if you're always the one doing everything, then it's not going to work. But also, potentially with friendships, this can also be about the pairing of two things. So release and let go could be release and let go from the hold that social beauty standards have over you, because they don't need to be together. You also have the earth and water element on friendship here. And the water sign is usually, of course, about emotions. That's representing, the cup in tarot, so of course emotions and things like that. But then with the earth sign, it's the stability, the reliability, because it's that groundedness. So you're feeling more grounded in your emotions because you have released and let go of this hold that wider society or wider beauty standards have had over you. Because you've let go of that, you're feeling a lot more emotional security. Okay, so now you can ask any 3 yes or no questions about this reading, or about the month of November, and I will answer those for you now. Starting with question 1, we have yup. Okay, with question 2, we have without fail. And with question 3, we have definitely not a no. So that was your reading pile 2. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. And if you were drawn to any other piles, feel free to check those out now. If not, I hope to see you here next week on Tuesdays and Thursdays for another reading on TìandTarot. Bye. Okay, hello my pile 3s, welcome to your reading. So the way that this is going to work is we're going to go through the tarot. We're also going to get you some oracle cards, and then there will be an opportunity at the end of the reading for you to ask any 3 yes or no questions about November or about this reading. And then we're also going to do some charm pulls as well, which is why we have this board in the back. So your first tarot card is Take a Gratitude Walk. Got some doves on there, and this is the other side. Okay. Your next oracle card is Meditation with the number 30. Interesting, you're getting a lot of calm, zen, connection cards, so meditation, going for walks, that sort of thing, very nice, calm, peaceful, inner work kind of activities. And then we've got the 3 of Coins. We have the 4 of Swords, so again we're getting this yoga, meditation, grounded pose on the floor. And then we also have the 9 of Swords in reverse. Ooh, okay. So significant changes are coming to your peace level, and it's because you're applying yourself to something that you're passionate about. So I think maybe you've had a lot of anxiety around just general anxiety, where your life is heading, your future, your day-to-day enjoyment, that sort of thing. But you're going to start applying yourself to something you're really excited about, a new venture, a new project, which is going to lead to you feeling really secure, really fulfilled, really at peace. And this is a massive change for you because it's a feeling unlike any other. It's a very unique sense of peace that you've never tapped into before, because it's fulfilling well-rounded, well-adjusted wholeness across your life. I think as well you're going to be changing the way you deal with your schedule. So for example, if you're someone who tends to write down these are the 20 things I've got to do today, and at the end of the day you're still writing down stuff, and you're still writing down stuff for the next day too, instead you're going to prioritize a couple main things. We call them your big rocks. You're going to prioritize that. So your big rocks could be spending time with your pets, going to work, and then fulfilling some sort of hobby of yours. Or maybe prioritizing yourself or something like that. And for each of these things, if there are ones that are prioritizing yourself, spending time with a pet, even just 15 minutes a day, or yoga or something, even just 15 minutes a day, meditation 15 minutes a day, can create such a massive change in the way you enjoy your day, in the way you look forward to things. If you enjoy meditation, and for the first 15 minutes of your morning, that's what you do, instead of waking up grumpy, upset, annoyed you have to get up, you'll be excited because for the first 15 minutes of your day, you get to do something you like. So I can see you changing the way you approach your day as well, being a bit more active, applying yourself to the things that you actually value, which could be self-care, it can be gentle things, it can be meditation, it can, you know, when I say active, I don't mean like you're really productive and making money and doing all these, like, you know, work and side hustles and things. I don't mean that. I mean you're applying yourself with passion to things. Okay, so that was a significant change. Now let's look at a transformation that's coming in for you for November. Oh, we have the red tent in reverse with the number 39. Okay. Now we have Earth with the number 33. There's lots of threes going on for you, and the 9 as well. Threes can go into that. So, definitely the number 3 is really important. And you have the 3 of coins. There's going to be some sort of unity or harmony this month. Some sort of collective agreement and community happening here. A lot of like peace. Okay, so you have Earth, but in reverse. With diversity, motherhood, nourishment. You have a safe and beautiful home. Oh my gosh, I love this. This is so cute, especially with all the threes. Okay. And let's look at your other tarot cards. So you have the 2 of Cups. Okay. We have the 8 of Cups. And we have the 9 of Wands in reverse. Okay, interesting. What I'm seeing for you is that you're transforming in terms of your, I would say your knowledge, your wisdom, because with community, like matriarchs, this motherhood, this collective, there's of course so much wisdom in there. And you're walking away from something that no longer serves you, that no longer fits with you. And that thing that you're walking away from, again, we're getting 9s again, is something to do with honouring yourself, honouring your values, and recognising that you don't have to conform to certain ways of life, especially things like motherhood, you know, babies, parenting, marriage, if those things don't align with you. Whereas maybe in the past you thought you had to, or that maybe you were somehow set back in life if you didn't conform to those things. And now you're realising you don't even resonate with those things. And so you're walking away from them. What you once valued and thought you needed, you're walking away from because of this internal wisdom that's coming to you. And you may feel like in doing that, you're jeopardising relationships or connections with others who do value those things. But that's not the case, because there will be someone out there for you who values the exact same thing as you, who isn't going to begrudge you for not, you know, valuing the things in your past. They connect with you because you guys agree on your values. So a transformation for you is recognizing what your true values are, what you truly want, accepting that sort of matriarchal wisdom that's going to guide you in the right direction. And then this is also going to lead to you finding happiness, love, enjoyment, soul fulfillment. Maybe even with a romantic partner. So what do you need to know about the month of November? We have disconnection in reverse. And we have the divine in reverse. Yeah, you definitely have to work on your breathing techniques, your meditation for sure. We have the 4 of spring. And we have grace in reverse. Something you need to know is that in order to reconnect with yourself, you have to be aligned with the earth. And you can do that through things like meditation, yoga, that sort of thing, Tai Chi and breathing exercises. This will help to reconnect you because you find enlightenment in those moments. Also, in order to reconnect and feel good within yourself, you have to find stability and groundedness, and you putting external validation for yourself out there into the world, needing external validation, craving that, is not the thing that is going to give you stability. In fact, it gives you instability because that's not predictable and it's not necessarily going to come from good sources 24/7. That's not something you can guarantee on. So you need to start internalizing your validation. Looking inward, are you happy with yourself? Do you like where you're at in life? Do you like who you are? You have to look at yourself for that. Rather than investing that in other people and hoping other people kind of see your light and tell you about it. So something for the month of November is you need to start rebuilding yourself. Piece yourself back together. Start looking inward for your validation and start creating nice habits or rituals that make you feel good, that help with that reconnection. Okay, and let's see something new that's going to happen for you in November. Ooh, we have citrine. I love that you're getting like orangey crystals. So I fully embrace my confidence and sense of self-worth. We have abundance, emotional balance, confidence, strength, chakra cleanser. We have the sacral and solar plexus, and we have Gemini, Aries, Libra, Leo, Gemini. Wow, really big, like powerful energies. Definitely with an emphasis on balance, particularly emotional balance, which I find interesting because we kind of had that anxious, anxiety kind of cards in the beginning. And needing to seek emotional restoration with the meditation, taking 15 minutes for yourself, even if that's just to have a warm cup of tea and sit there in the silence and enjoy that. You know, you can kind of combine your meditation in that way. If that's what you need, take that. But there's something about finding balance with your confidence, your self-worth, putting the validation back into you. That's very much coming through. Now, something new. We have the Star in reverse with the Strength card with the 8 of Stones. Oh my gosh. Something new. You're building your future and your stability creatively. You're working around problems that weigh you down in a whimsical, mystical, spiritual, creative kind of way. Because here we see the whale not only evading this kind of oil spill, but also working with it, flowing with it, being unbothered by it. With the 8 of Stones, to create her wealth, she's painting this vase. She's found her niche or the thing that brings her joy, and she's using that to fuel her avenue for success. I'm seeing creative ways around the problems in your life to help you navigate around those difficulties and start enjoying the day-to-day. Once you're able to kind of find this unity or harmony between you and the things that make your life a little bit stressful sometimes, a little bit tricky, once you find that harmony, you'll find the path towards your desires and achieving your dreams much more enjoyable. It will be a nicer flow. You won't feel stuck or stagnant or like you're on the wrong path. You'll know where you're going. You'll have this like heightened enlightenment. The things you were embarrassed or shy about, especially with regards to your desires or your true dream in life, your big dream, your big goal, the things you were embarrassed about, maybe being seen, maybe putting yourself out there, you're laying that to rest this month, and you're finally putting yourself out there and saying, this is me in all my uniqueness. Even if it's scary. I can see you starting some sort of like social media this month as well. Okay, so the way that charm pulling works is we'll throw these charms on the board. If they land upright, great, they're meant for you in this reading. If they don't, we'll remove them. Okay. You can call it like charm pulling or charm scrying, you know. But we got lots of symbols meant for you today. Okay. think you got most of them. Interesting that you got the leaf on hopes and wishes, because the leaf is about hope. So it's your hopes and wishes for the future. In order to get your dreams and the future that you want, there needs to be a merriment, a pairing, a unity, a connection between yourself and the earth. You have to release and let go of the things that don't serve you, including your fear of not being able to control the negative things that kind of come up, or the hurdles or the challenges. Those are a natural part of life. Life ebbs and flows. Your approach to it is what can bring you a lot of hope and joy for the future and manifest your wishes towards you. But if you feel really bogged down by your challenges and don't find creative ways around them, if you struggle with that release and let go, then your future, you don't have as much hope for it. You don't have as much hope for the future, hope for your dreams coming true. So if you want to nurture that hope, you have to see this kind of unity between yourself, your desires, the earth, and the unity between you and your challenges. There's going to be a lot of unexpected action and communication when it comes to your spirit guides. I think they're going to talk to your intuition and teach you some sort of lesson. So listen out for that as well. You're unlocking new potential at work. You really need to focus and narrow in on work this month, because you're unlocking new opportunities. You may even find that maybe you want to take a new path with regards to your career, your work, open a new avenue, go through a new door. You might find that this month as well, and maybe you find inspiration for what you want to do there. With the triple horn of Odin being in health and well-being, of course, I sort of mentioned to you that you're getting this matriarchal wisdom of how to align with yourself, your values, reconnect, and you're being told to, meditate, do yoga, that sort of thing. So what we're seeing is that you're getting that ancient wisdom through those practices in order to take care of yourself, of your well-being, basically. With the new moon being on spirit and the mind, essentially you're manifesting new beginnings with changing your thoughts. So because your spirit guides are kind of giving you this wisdom about changing the way you approach things, embracing this new level of peacefulness with the meditation, you're unlocking brand new beginnings for you, especially in the avenues of communication with the air element there. So especially in terms of the way that you approach life, your outlook, because your communication relates also to whether you speak positively or negatively of the things around you. Also, it could deepen your spiritual connection. The more you listen to your spirits, the deeper that connection becomes. And with Hecate's will being in the emotional, mind and spirit category, it's a reminder that, again, life ebbs and flows. Just because you want to make these amazing changes doesn't mean that change happens overnight and that you won't have down days, So don't be harsh on yourself. Don't, beat yourself up about it. Negative thoughts can just come up, and it is one of those things where it's a habit you build. So the more you catch yourself in that moment and say, hey, let's redirect this, or let's, change this, the more you catch yourself, the stronger that emotional security becomes. Because if you give in to those negative thoughts, your emotional stability falls out of sync. You lose that emotional stability there with the earth element because you're worried about the future. And that can affect you physically, because if you're not feeling emotionally good, it can impact that as well. And with the fire sign there, you're definitely being told, with being in the physical category, to take action. To take action towards what you're passionate about, to move, to get up, to make these changes that you want to see. With the hexagram kind of being in between future and self, again, the hexagram is about unity. So we're seeing that call for unity. If you want the future that you have in mind, there needs to be a unity between the self and your challenges in life, as well as your creativity. And it's funny because the solar cross there is kind of the same thing, because it's about the 4 elements and the connectivity of all of that. But it's kind of touching on future and self as well as physical. So there seems to be some sort of calling for you to prioritize yourself, your well-being, your physical health, your emotional health, your connections with others. You need to kind of nurture all these areas and give them equal amounts of time, as I said, maybe with that 15-minute technique, to make sure you're enjoying yourself. You're enjoying this journey, of life. So you kind of need to find that balance with all these different connective areas of your life. You know, the love, the emotions, the ideas, the passions, the community, the communication, the action. These all need to pair. And that's what's going to happen for you this month. Those things are syncing up. And can also see with family and home being in the support, being connected to support with the rose, that you're going to be finding that support from your family brings you a lot of joy, as well as being at home can bring you a lot of comfort right now. Home comforts, home rituals, meditation at home, you know, having a warm tea in the morning at home, like a green tea or something. You're going to find that that brings you a lot of joy. And you're protected in terms of your family and your home, as well as your money and your financial wealth. Your financial prospects this month are protected, or maybe even the wealth of your family, the value of it, the fact that they bring you so much joy and happiness, that's protected, and that's a constant that's coming through as well this month. Okay, so we are now at the last part of the reading where you can ask any 3 yes or no questions about either this reading or the month of November, and I will try my best to answer those for you now. So go ahead and ask question 1 now, and I will try my best to answer it for you. So we have negative. It's funny. This whole reading I'm like, girl, stop being negative, and then it's like, negative. It's your first challenge coming through. Alright. Your second question now. I think so. And your third question. Oh my gosh. I felt it was this one, so I'm going with this one. I'm going to trust me. You got guaranteed. So that was your reading, pile 3. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the sort of charm pulling aspect of this reading. And if you did, I can include it in more readings in the future. But yeah, let me know. And if you were drawn to any other piles, feel free to check those out now. If not, I hope to see you here next week on Tuesdays and Thursdays for another reading on TìandTarot. Bye. Oh, I thought I should just tell you actually, before you go, that during your reading, I actually got up and left for a little bit. Which you're not supposed to do when you do tarot readings, so bad cat, that's bad on me. But I did get up and I left for a little bit. And I don't like to do that because you're kind of leaving the spirits unsupervised with free reign to the board and stuff. And while I was in the other room, I heard like a glass shatter or something, or drop, and I was like, what is that? And I thought like an intruder broke in or something, so I was wandering around the house like, hello, who goes there, with like some hairspray to like defend myself with. And I came back to my room and realised my tarot cards had tipped over and bumped into the vase that I got these flowers from. It's like a see-through half-naked lady vase. And it had fallen over. It was that one. It was this one. And yeah, so it was the spirits that I left unsupervised, which I knew would happen. So I just thought I'd tell you that in case that message is relevant to you, because I know that for your reading we had a lot of like spirits kind of trying to communicate with you this month. So that may have some relevance to you, the knocking over of this see-through lady vase. I don't know if it does, but if it does, I'm glad it's helped. Alright, have a nice rest of your day, guys. Bye. Okay, hello my powerfuls, welcome to your reading. So, the way this reading is going to work is we're going to get into your tarot cards as well as some oracle cards, answering what significant changes, transformations are coming in, anything new coming in, as well as things you need to know. We'll also do some charm pulls with this board at the back here. And then you will have the opportunity at the end of the reading, as per usual, to ask any 3 yes or no questions pertaining to the month of November or this reading. So let's get into it. Your first oracle card is never forget how wildly capable you are. And we've got some sort of thing that is going to be written, some sort of creativity. It could be like writing a book, it could be journaling, writing a note, writing an essay, it could be writing a letter to Parliament. You know, it's taking action in some kind of way with your voice, with communication. Reflect on and appreciate your own special strengths and abilities. So you're strong, capable, you've got lots of abilities. That's what's coming in. Okay. So let's get another oracle card for you. Okay, in reverse, we have the number 17, navel chakra. I actually didn't even know you could get a navel chakra, but hey ho. News to me. And let's get your tarot cards. So, we have the 10 of Wands in reverse. We have the 5 of Swords. You're definitely walking away from something that wasn't good for you. The 6 of Swords. Wow. Okay. A significant change is that you are seeing your worth and your value. And you're appreciating that you can be an independent person, even if you've been convinced by others, by a negative force, that you must be dependent, that you couldn't survive without them. You're recognizing that that's not true, that actually you've been upholding this whole relationship, this whole connection, this whole system. Your effort, your labor, your actions, your own independence, but applying it to them and their dependence on you. You were holding up everything. You were doing everything. And you're recognizing that. And that's causing a really significant change because you're severing a connection with this negative force that was draining your energy and your efforts and stealing your labor. Because when I think of the navel, of course, the belly button, you know, where, you know, you had the umbilical cord connected to your mum who, you know, at some point you have to sever that tie. You have to cut that umbilical cord once the baby's born. So what I'm seeing is that you've had to cut some sort of connection between you and something or someone because it was draining all of your energy, taking all of your resources. It wouldn't take no for an answer. And you're recognizing that you have the ability to leave and do it yourself. You have yes, you might have to leave behind some resources that you've invested into this relationship that you can't get back. But you can take what you do have and get out because this was never good. They were constantly striking, constant negativity, constant draining, and you're done with that. You're walking towards success. So the big change is that you're removing yourself from this negative environment. You're putting yourself first, and you're seeing yourself as someone who is capable, strong, and someone who is independent, who has the ability to create all the successes you were creating for them for yourself. And then you're taking action towards that. You're putting the effort in. You're going after what it is you want. Now that you've got your swords back and you're starting to build them up and grow them, you're moving towards a better future. Yes, there may be challenges that lie ahead, but it's better than what lied before, and there's no going back. So once you've drawn this line in the sand, you're moving forward with this decision, with you being independent and letting go of whatever it was that was holding you back. Whether it was a toxic environment, a toxic system, a toxic relationship, you're leaving it behind. And that is a big change for you this month. Okay. I wanted this one. I'm so glad it came out. Okay, you have waxing gibbous moon in reverse. You had 2 others as well. They just came out. So you have the sun, so that success that I was talking about. And you also have the wolf. Ooh, okay, you're balancing 2 sides of yourself. Because you've got the moon and the sun, right? Because the wolf worships the moon. You've also got the waxing gibbous moon here. There's 2 versions of yourself this month. So there is a big transformation. I think you're leaning more into what aligns with you. Yes, we have the Strength card. We have the Two of Pentacles in reverse. You're not juggling shit no more. You're not like juggling other people's stuff, other people's priorities. You're putting yourself first. The Tower. Yes, this catalytic lightning bolt, this catalytic strike that creates change and forces this movement. Because that's what we saw here. If I move this card over here quickly. What we saw here is that you were kind of a yes person for whoever this was. You struggled to say no. And then they did something where it almost opened your eyes to how unfair this situation was. How you were kind of being obedient to something that wasn't giving you anything back. It kind of made you realise, wait, I'm getting such a shit deal here. And that's what made you walk away with this lightning bolt. It was like the final strike that made you go, no, I'm not doing this anymore. And then you're walking towards success. So a big transformation I'm seeing for you is that you're not entering into situations like that again. It's not a case of you've walked away from this situation, but you're not going to do any of the inner healing or introspection to then make sure it doesn't happen in the next relationship or connection or environment. Instead, you're like, no, I'm going to pause. I'm going to do the inner work. I'm going to take care of myself and build up that version of me that stands up for myself, that is strong, that gets angry, appropriately as it should. That version of you that gets angry when you've been pushed, when you've been disrespected. Because we're seeing here the lady with the sort of wild animal in two different cards. There's these two versions of yourself with the moon and the sun. And there needs to be this harmony between these two versions so that you can protect yourself in the future. So that when there are signs, when there are red flags straight away, you can immediately say, nope, this isn't for me. Rather than re-enter into something you think is safe, only to reveal it isn't later. Alternatively, you might not even enter into another connection if you don't want to. Alternatively, you might find that you are stronger, independent. You might find strength in your lonesomeness. Especially with the wolf, I think of like the lone wolf, that saying. You might find that you enjoy your peace more when you're alone. Which is the case for many people right now. You might find that you enjoy being alone. That you enjoy your independence and your freedom without others sort of interfering. I think you're allowing this passive side of yourself, or this side that says yes when you want to say no. You're allowing that to subside so that your sun can come out. Your sunshine energy. Your sociable, happy-go-lucky, but direct, fierce, fiery self can come forward. So that you can, when people strike at you, when situations strike, you can match it with your own powerful energy. It's barely noticeable. You don't even care, You're allowing yourself to become more sensitive to those strikes so that you can recognize them for what they are instead of mistaking these strikes for love or like just who they are kind of thing. You're recognizing that these strikes are bad. These lightning strikes, So the transformation for you is you stepping into this animal energy, this wolf energy, this lion energy, this sunshine energy. You still have the moon energy. You're still holding on to that because it's a part of you as well. This forgiving, kind, like understanding person. However, at the minute, you don't need them. You need someone you need to be a version of yourself who wouldn't tolerate things like this, who recognizes people for who they are, meets them where they're at and says, no, you're not good enough for me. I'm better on my own. I'm more capable on my own, and walks away. Okay. I got so distracted by your cards that I didn't pull you the second oracle. So the second oracle is now going to be involved in the next part of your reading. But that was the serpent, which we have in reverse with the number 36. Rebirth, shedding, healing. You are constantly being rebirthed and transformed. We also have control in reverse. Hello, there's a little snake head there, and she's taking back control of her transformation, her healing. Yes. I love this. I think for you, something you need to know is that you don't have to allow those old habits or old patterns of beginning to heal and then forgetting and forgiving to come back in. You can stop that pattern in its tracks and be someone new and say, actually, I'm going to maintain this level of healed where I do not interact with this system or this environment or this person anymore. We have the 5 of Spring. We have the 8 of Spring. And we have the Star. I love it. You've had the Moon, the Sun, and the Star. This is very powerful reading. Yeah, when you allow this healing to come in, your dreams and your wishes start manifesting in. Because I think for you, this healing process, this shedding and rebirth of you into someone who is independent, who is capable, not only are you ensuring that you get to control your healing process, that you get to control the person that you are becoming, you get to decide that, but also you're ensuring that no one else, no other situation, no other person ever has control over you again, because you don't want to be put in that situation again. So you're building yourself up into somebody who is independent and capable. I mean, you already are, but you're just recognizing that and applying that with confidence, trusting yourself and your own voice more than others, putting that internal validation back in you rather than external validation. And that's exactly what's going to help you manifest your dreams and your goals and your desires in life, because you're putting a stop to people wasting your resources, taking advantage of you, wasting your time and your focus and your efforts on them rather than on yourself. You're taking it back for yourself, and it's helping you manifest in your dreams. Okay, so let's see another oracle for you, helpful. We have Rainbow Fluorite. So we have my connection to my higher self keeps me calm and focused with the number 2. We have Rainbow Fluorite grounding increases and enhances intuition, manifestation. We have chakras, third eye, crown, and throat. Yes, you're going to be receiving a lot of spiritual ideas, spiritual messages that help you prioritize yourself, speak up for yourself, and communicate better. Maybe a lot of communication with you and spirits. And then we have Capricorn and Pisces. And you had like lightning bolts quite often, and rainbows are what come after the storm, after the rainy, thundery lightning bolts. So this is your success shining in. It's something new that you've not experienced before. So we have the Root of Stones. We have the Chariot in reverse. And we have Judgment in reverse, another snake. Okay, symbols for you to go look up after this reading are snakes, lightning bolts, rainbows, and the sun, moon, and star, because those are relevant to you. Something new is a sense of stability and groundedness that you've never felt before. It's a slow journey getting there because it takes time to unravel all of the ways that you have been wrapped up and hidden from yourself. Your true nature has been hidden and covered up. So something new is definitely this groundedness, this stability, where you see yourself differently. Where you're like a healed version of yourself. This healing, shedding old skin, this healing version of yourself, where you see yourself for who you are as a capable, independent person who's able to take care of themselves and put so much dedication and work and focus into themselves. Seeing yourself in that light is a process. It takes time, and you might find that there are certain days in the month or months in the year where it's easier to see the value in you. than it is in other months. Maybe you struggle with that in other months. So it's a slow journey where it kind of ebbs and flows. Things are making progress, and then the shedding stops for a bit. But eventually, the end of this journey, it leads you to a road where you are so much more emotionally stable and grounded because you value yourself. You feel so grounded and stable because you know you're a capable person who can take care of yourself really well. So that is something new for you to experience, because I don't think you've ever experienced yourself in that way. I think you've seen yourself as a dependent, kind of incapable person who needs someone to, like, I don't know, take them to the locations they need to go to or order their food for them. Like, you're realising you don't need anyone else. You are enough. And you can take care of yourself very well. You know, if you think about it this way. If you were babysitting, like, a friend's kid, what would you do? You would immediately say, okay, let's make you breakfast. Okay, let's make sure you get some enrichment. Let's go to the park. Okay, let's bring snacks so you don't get hungry. Okay, let's make sure that you're learning and developing. So let's get out these colourful puzzles and we're going to work on these together. Let me make you laugh. Let me communicate to build up your communication skills, your emotional intelligence. Okay, let's play a game of your choosing so I teach you independence and freedom. You're going to help me with dinner this time, and you're going to do something safe that you're able to help with, like maybe peeling the lettuce or something to give you empowerment. Okay, let's brush your teeth, get you ready for bed, pop you into bed, you know. You would be capable, you would know what to do in that situation, right? So if you can be trusted to take care of something so precious and delicate and fragile as a child, then you can take care of yourself. Okay. Alright. Okay, so now we're on to the charm reading part of your reading. So the way this works is I will pull out some charms and drop them on the board. If they're in reverse, they're not relevant for today's reading, and we can just discard them. Or if they don't, you know, fall on any parts of the board that are important, then we can discard them. And then I will tell you what they all mean. Because you've got quite a few that are like overlapping, I might interpret the top ones and then move them so I can like see the others. But firstly, you've got the key with focus, support and emotional. So in order to unlock this new version of yourself, in order to unlock this new opportunity to be who you truly are, you need to stay focused, okay? You need to remember the goal. The goal is to make sure that you feel capable enough to take care of yourself and essentially fake it till you make it, so that you don't end up in situations where you feel dependent on toxic environments, situations or people. Because no one needs that, okay? So it's about staying focused on your goal and being supportive of yourself during every emotional phase. Allow yourself to feel. If you're frustrated at how long it's taking, if you're annoyed at yourself for things, if you're annoyed at them for things, allow yourself to feel it. Don't judge yourself for those feelings. Don't say, oh, I shouldn't feel that or I shouldn't do this. Feel it and then let it go. Relinquish it because you don't have control over it. Then we've got the hexagram. So what we're seeing is that there's going to be some sort of big unity between financial wealth and the self, or potentially self-worth. There's going to be a big unity between your understanding of your own self-worth. It can also be a big unity between you and your genuine money. A harmony there with the way you spend it, with the way you invest it. As I said, there was some sort of force draining your resources. It could have been financial resources. And now that it's not going into these other avenues, it can go towards yourself. So there could be an element of that as well. With the acorn and spirituality, there's potential here for your spirituality to grow. There's potential for you to get some interesting perspectives through spirituality this month. In love, romance, embrace, let go, and friendships, we have the air element, which is about communication. So there's some sort of big communication here in terms of releasing something and embracing something in your connections. So essentially you're communicating that you don't want to be in certain situations and you do want to be in certain relationships. Like, so there's some aspects of relationships you can compromise on, some you can't. There are some aspects of relationships you like and some you don't. And you're coming to terms with what those are so that you can find what works for you, whether that's independence or connection, but with somebody who isn't toxic. But you're figuring out what those are and you're communicating that. You know, I think this is you essentially saying, fuck you, I'm out of here. Like, this is you having your big reaction, your blow up, your return to their kind of lightning strike. And you're saying, this isn't for me. We also have the butterfly over trust your intuition and spirituality, or the spirit. So there's a connection between the spirits and your intuition here, especially with the butterfly, because the butterfly can be about spiritual communication. So it's really interesting. It's almost like maybe this calling to recognize your self-worth is coming from a spiritual place, is coming from your intuition, from something else around you. So you might find a strong spiritual connection this month. There's a lot of hope with the spirit and the mind with the leaf there. So there's a lot of hope that if you believe in yourself, if you set your mind to it, if you view yourself in a different way, that you will believe in yourself, you'll believe in your future and reinvest in yourself. There's also some sort of harmony here. There's some sort of unity needed with the solar cross, because the solar cross is essentially like all 4 elements, and it's landed on spirit, the 5th element. Technically, the unspoken about 5th element. So it's like you need a unity between the way you see yourself. You need a unity with the way you communicate, with the people around you, with the way you feel, with the things you're doing physically. It all needs to be in harmony. It all needs to be in a good place for you to operate from a good place. And if even one element of that is out of sync, if let's say your romantic connections are out of sync or your friendships are out of sync, it can throw the whole balance off. And so it's really important to find like a nice harmony balance here. And that may include walking away from relationships that are of course toxic, because that can help you find harmony. With the decagram, there's balance and joining together. Again, we're getting the physical, the emotional, the spirit, the mind. There's a joining here of what you're thinking, what you're feeling, the actions you're taking, as well as your soul purpose. You're really transforming into this amazing higher version of yourself. You're stepping away from past you, who may have helped you at the time when you were in that phase of your life, but now that you're ready for this new phase, you need to let that version go and find this harmony, which is this new version of you. With Hecate's wheel being in just physical, you may find that you flit between the actions you want to take this month. Like one week you might be like, I really want to do this and I want to do that, and then the next month you're like, I don't want to do that, I don't want to do any of that. And it could be something like walking away from someone, right? Because that's like a physical action as well as an emotional, mental one. You have to be aligned in all of these areas. If you're emotionally not aligned with somebody or something, if mentally you're not aligned with them, if spiritually they don't feel right to you, why would you go back? Because then your physical self is out of sync with all the other areas of you, and then you can't unlock your potential. You can't support yourself emotionally. If even one element of these betray you, this whole thing crumbles. If you start seeing this toxic environment as positive, if mentally you view it as positive, everything's falling out of sync. If you start rose tinting goggles them, and viewing them in a more romantic light, everything falls out of sync. If you walk back to them, everything falls out of sync. If you pretend that they're your soulmate or your spirit connection or whatever, you fall out of sync, because this is clearly a toxic situation. So with the Hecate's wheel, protector of women, she's saying stay in unity with all areas of yourself, stay strong, stay clear-minded on this situation, and keep yourself to yourself, keep yourself moving forward, or else you run the risk of undoing all this beautiful progress you've been making. And you've got protection here, with the evil eye dipping into physical and future. There's something about you maybe physically trying to go back to this environment, but your spirits are protecting you. You're physically protected. You're spiritually protected. Your future is being protected. Essentially, your spirit guides are intercepting this. They're like, you're not going back. You're not going back. If you try and get up and walk over there, they're going to do something. Like, they're going to cause a traffic jam so that your car can't get through and you have to go back. Like, you're not physically going to be able to return to this person because you're so highly spiritually protected right now. It's in order to protect your future. So this is where all of your spirit guides' energies are going towards. It's going towards protecting you from yourself. We had the water element, so emotions, next to friendship. It wasn't quite in there though, so I'm not counting it. But again, it's to do with the fact that in order to feel good, you have to have positive connections in your life. If they're not making you feel good, it's not for you. Okay, so let's move on to the final part of the reading, which is where you can ask any 3 yes or no questions about today's reading or about November. So go ahead and ask your first question now, and I will try my best to answer it for you now. Okay, Spirit is saying I don't understand because you got the I don't understand card like twice. So try and the question you've asked, you need to ask it differently. So instead of saying something like, for example, when is this connection going to work for me? Or how can things change so that this toxic connection, works for me and isn't toxic anymore? That's the wrong question. Instead, ask something like, when will this blockage be removed that prevents me from seeing my worth? You have to ask a different question. Oh, okay, so you have a few. You have might be. Again, you got I don't understand. And then you have oh my god, yes. Okay, so go ahead and ask question 2. As long as you're ready and, what's that? Without questioning. So as long as you're ready, it will 100% happen kind of thing. And question 3. Guaranteed. Okay, so that was your reading pile 4. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. And comment and let me know if you liked the charm wheel. If you did, we'll use it again. So yeah, let me know in the comments how you liked this reading. What was your favourite part about it? And if you were drawn to any other piles, feel free to check those out now. If not, I hope to see you here next week on Tuesdays and Thursdays for another reading on TìandTarot.